I've had the privilege of living 83 years, soon be 84, and I've been a member of the church for 52 years. I was a treasurer for 32 years of the church, and through that I encountered several blessings that the Lord gave to our church that made us know that where we were headed was where the Lord wanted us to go.
My story of giving started a long time ago. In 1957, my husband Hardy and I moved to College Station for him to work on his master's degree and teach part-time at the college.
We always had problems in the summertime of having surplus budget or making the budget because we just didn't have the people on vacation and they wouldn't give money.
And we had two little girls. Carol was 2 and Cindy was 1. The salary was not great. I still remember it was $400 a month before deductions, so we had to be careful.
We got to the point we needed some extra money, and I called Barry and told him that we were going to be short in June, and he said, let's wait and see what we can work out. So in August, I called him and said, okay, Barry, we're to this point. So we talked about 6 members of our church that we felt like we could call and possibly raise. We needed $65,000. We're talking on a Thursday. We said we would pray about these people, and we'd see what happened on the weekend.
And a couple of years later, and I don't even remember what it was, but there was going to be an expense we couldn't handle. And so I had written everything out. And when Hardy got home that night, I showed him the paper, and my solution was the only thing we didn't have to pay was our offering to the church.
Sunday morning when I walked up across the muddy street and got over there was a couple waiting for me. And they said, we have $10,000 we'd like to give this church. And
we were not tithers at this point. And he barely looked at the paper and said, no, you go ahead and write that check.
That night at home, I got a call from another of the members that we had talked about. This family said, well, we've got $10,000 we can give.
And I did write that check, not with the right motives. I wasn't being an agreeable wife. I was thinking at the end of the month when we run out of money, he'll see how wise I was.
Well, the next morning, Monday morning, I had a call from a third member that we had talked about. They had $20,000. They wouldn't know what to do with it. In the meantime, Barry had a call, and he got a commitment from a couple that was not discussed, but they gave $17,000. It boiled down by Wednesday, we had $65,250, and that took care of all of the needs that we needed.
So we took the check on Sunday, and I was still worrying about finances. I was very good at worrying about that sort of thing. And on Tuesday, he called me and said that an engineering firm in Bryan had called him and asked him to do some surveying for them for the next 3 Saturdays. And the Lord did get my attention, and he taught me such a lesson. He was telling me, you do what you're supposed to do, and I'll be faithful to you always.
This, again, reminds me that God is providing things for this church, great things for this church to be doing. And over the years, he has done it, and he keeps on doing it.
We did become tithers. That was the first. From that point on, I wrote that check first every month, and we lived on what was left, and there was always enough.
It's been a very marvelous feeling to sit back and see what God can do if you'll give him a chance.